Good evening, everybody. This is Ann Jansen from Minnesota. Today, we are going to talk about showing up. And why do we want to show up at events? It's because two things. We always learn, we always grow, and we get the energy, the synergy from each other when we show up at these events. And then two, our excitement. We want to share our excitement with whoever we want to share LifeWave with. And if you're excited, that's often more of a, I don't want to say selling point, but it makes people excited. If you're excited, they're excited. So if we can talk about an event we're at, how we've been moved. So I would like you to be, articulate with what you want to say. And then, the fewer words possible if we can, because we know the less we say, usually it's the better. So we will have Mary Thiesfeld start. You can say whatever event you were at. Of course, last week it was Vision. Maybe you were at Rise Up in person or via Zoom. It's all great. Or any public event you've been at. Take it away,
Okay.
Mary.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Mary Thiesfeld, and I watched Rise Up on a recording, so I won't speak to that. But I did watch it all. It was very good. But we had a watch party this last weekend for the Vision um, conference, and that was really good. It was nice to be able to bounce ideas back and forth and um, talk to each other while we were watching, and react to different things that were being said. So that it was really great to be in person. So shout out to Jack and Judy for hosting that. Um, it's just nice to be in person, have that of, of being together. Today I spoke with a couple, and it was just really cool to be able to answer questions and be able to have, that extra joy in my voice saying, this is what I know, this is what people have told me, this is what I've learned over time. So um it's just it's really good to be in person and talk to people face to face.
Was there
So
any one thing that stuck out for you in Vision?
when David was speaking and he mentioned the Our Father, thy will be done, that was cool. It's like, from a faith perspective, it's nice to have that leadership and know that that's his belief and it's my belief. And, asking God to help us achieve what we want to achieve with this business and helping people. Um, so it was cool. It was his will and not mine. Just ask for that guidance. So that was cool. I really liked that.
Cool.
Hello, Ann.
Hello. Were you
I got
guys
a couple.
on?
Yeah, we were on both the Vision, then we were on what I again, the one that I really got a lot out of was the Dallas event. Okay.
Okay.
And so I really love the Dallas event because there is very motivational. But what I really like about the company is, and what I learned from there is it's about belief again. You're not gonna until you have a strong enough belief in the company, okay, the product, the visionary behind the product, and then in yourself, it's very difficult for you to want to go out and share it. So what you need to do, and this also came from Renita in a talk she just did a week or two ago. She talked about that belief too, and how she had to go out in her first week and did what she needed to do. Each of us need to do what we need to do to get our belief strong enough to where we want to go out and share. And this week is about belief building again a little bit, but to me, this one was not as motivational, but it what it really did is kind of said, man, we are sitting on a gold mine, a company. When you start hearing all these countries check in of how and all the records they're setting all over the world, and the products that are coming up, it's hard not to get excited about the future and where this company's going.
I think your topic tonight of showing up, why show up? I feel that it's to develop relationships, for one thing. Like there's many times where, and I've said this like to my nieces, let's say, for example, they maybe want to stay home at Christmas time or something like that because you know what, it just is comfortable, right? And I've always said it's hard to have a relationship if somebody doesn't show up. So, I think going to events, you can develop relationships with your team. Even showing up and going to, let's say, any kind of a social event, you're going to meet new people. And like we were listening to a talk that Renita gave recently, and she talked about the way that she talks to people is just get to know them, solve a problem. You can't do that if you don't show up. So that's how to find new prospects. So that's my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, I want to add to that. I know with the Rise Up group that I was with on my team, there were 10 of us or so. And so we have a Facebook group, or excuse me, a text, because I was texting people while I'm out there, where are we meeting and stuff. And so that group stayed together. And so there's like that new little group that's asking each other questions, and they're on my left, someone on my right. And so for me, for them to be together as one team is really important because they're new people for each other. And, that's because they showed up at the Rise Up convention event. And I don't know, it just kind of makes me smile that these new friends, know each other and appreciate each other. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being on those. We got to keep doing them. So let's try to get in person. That's our goal, is to get into person at these next events, because there's something that happens in the hotel rooms, or the meals are the best as we sit, and share a meal together, and we're just bouncing these ideas back and forth. I think that's probably my favorite, is the meals that we have together, and the roommate conversations. I don't know, Renee was my roommate for Rise Up, and I think we talked about everything, family or whatever. Just that deeper relationship is just this awesome. Great. Judy Lindberg, do you have anything that you really liked about? She was at my house. We had a little watch party on Saturday, and a couple of people came. Anything you want to share, Judy?
I enjoyed the fellowship with Anne and the other woman that was there. And I love learning about the new products coming out, the 3 new products.
Okay, awesome.
It was exciting. And yeah, that we have a beautiful future, bigger than ever. And like, what's next? What else has he got in store for us for surprises of what he's been working on? David Schmidt, that is. And the Lord, of course. Our good Lord God, too. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Thank
Good.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I agree. Denise, want to add anything?
Yeah, I was on this weekend. I thought that was great. I was also on the Rise Up. I watched all of that live. So there, I had I had a lot of notes, but something that really stuck out. Well, there was a lot, but one thing I had was make a promise to someone other than ourselves, because this is really about helping other people. So I like to get to know other people, and I have the opportunity where I work to just get to know a lot of people and ask a lot of questions. And so every time I'm talking to them, I'm just finding out more about them and finding where they are in their lives and what they kind of believe in and what they do. And so for me, that's fostering relationships with people, because the more I get to know people, you more you build that trust. And it's really about, if I have something that I can offer them that is beneficial. So, make that promise to someone other than ourselves. I don't remember who said that, but I really liked that. So that was just one of my takeaways from that. I know there's other people on here, so I had a lot of stuff that I wrote down. The pro system, I'd heard about it, but I never really thought about it. And they talked a lot about that. And so I think that was really good, that more than just one group of people pointed it out and kind of talked about it. And so to hear things again and again and again, they really start to stick in your head. So I think that's one of the things about showing up to everything that LifeWave offers, whether it's Steve and Gina's team or the corporate. So when the corporate has their events, they have David come on like once a month. So I always try to catch that, because I love listening to him. I love the biology background and I love the science background. I really enjoy that. So I love to listen to that. And I feel like, excuse me, I learn more and more every time I listen to David speak. So I really enjoy that. And then I just feel like I'm understanding the product better and more about how our body works. So when I don't feel so uncomfortable if somebody asks me a question. I feel like I can talk about things much better. And then that's just more helpful for other people, right? I mean, the more we know about how our body works and the more we get to know people, the better equipped we are to share the patch and share why everybody should wear the patch. So yeah, so I just gain a lot out of being at all the in-person events as much as possible. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Building confidence. Thank you.
yeah.
One thing I wanted to add with what you had said, Mike, was you touched a little bit on it, that all the foreign people, when they get on, I know like at every conference and everything I've been at, pretty much the different nationalities do speak. And sometimes I'll hear like, oh, why do we have to hear that part of the world? It's like, oh, that's not my interest, but it needs to be our interest because we are so global and we are not just the United States. We are so global. So that was really striking for me at every event that I've been at, that when we have so many foreigners and their excitement of how much they're building, and we give, like in Punta Cana, we talked about, they had the numbers of each area, how they're growing, and the people were just so excited to see their growth. And we each want to see our own business grow. We want to see that excitement too. And I don't know, I loved seeing that. And I love that in the future, we're going to have the opportunity to, if we have this global team, to speak in English, and the person is going to hear it in their native language. So if we're speaking to somebody in Japan, they're going to be hearing it in Japanese. That is all at our fingertips. And that's very soon, that AI capability. So that's exciting. That's exciting just to have that option. But the fact that we are keeping up with what's happening. We're not falling behind to, the company is keeping up with technology. So that's awesome. And I want to share something with Judy Lindberg when, let's see, Caitlin was talking about all what the water machine, no, was she talking about the water, no, Cellergizer or water machine, whatever she was talking about. Um, and she was giving all these details, details, details. And it was a little over my head. And I've seen these details before because David has done those, and way over my head. And then I said, wow, that was over my head. And Judy Limber says, oh, that was the best part so far. I got all that. And so that was so great for me to hear her say that, because everybody gets something different out of that conference or whatever event we're at. So it's really great that they have such a variety of um, different topics at these conventions, because you don't know when it's going to strike us. And next time that might be really interesting. Because I know in the past, when I first met David and his method, he's quieter. He does a lot of facts. And I thought that was a little, like, I'll say boring, listening to him and all these statistics. And now that I know that's his style of teaching, and I just love his knowledge. It's just amazing, obviously, all his knowledge and stuff. So I really, really appreciate that. So I know when he's going to speak that it's going to be facts and stuff. And what a gift to us.
And I was telling Karen, because I was the same way on Saturday. I said, oh man, this is too deep and it's just going over a lot of people's heads. At the same time, I said, think about how many doctors and homeopathic doctors that we have involved in the company. They were getting a lot out of it.
Yep.
And all we got to get is one or two doctors in your group, and you'll be glad they're doing those presentations.
Right. That's where we're going to steer them. Yep.
Yep.
For sure. Well, Becky, do you want to have anything to add?
Okay, technology here. So you can hear me?
Yes.
So I've had the luxury of being off of flying for this month and next month. So I've been able to take advantage of a lot more of the calls in real time, which is awesome, instead of just trying to listen to replays. And part of my New Year's goal was to reconnect with my team members. And I have team members that aren't doing anything. And maybe they joined me when I first started with LifeWave, and I didn't know very much. And so now I'm revisiting with them and saying, there's just so much more than I even realized when we first talked. So part of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is trying to connect with all those team members, whether they're active or not, helping some of them figure out the website, maybe helping them negotiate how to sign up people, how to upgrade, those types of things. And that's been taking some time, but I've really appreciated it. So I was able to attend the Rise Up virtually, and then also just took advantage of Vision. And one of the things that I realized is that you start hearing the same things from different people, but they're similar to what you've heard before. And so there is that consistency. So in with building a team, Carlos and Rashida Diaz, your team should feel like a family. You should support and celebrate each one. The success of other people should push you. If they can do it, so can anyone. And if one wins, the whole team wins. And then along with that was another call that I was on, and it's that you help them crawl to manager, and you help them walk to director, and you help them run to senior director. And I thought, okay, so that's some similarities there. We're just going to keep supporting them as much as they need in the beginning, and then they get to a point where they're going to be able to run with it and then duplicate themselves. And along with duplication, maybe it's that you want to host an event, and very important is to keep it simple. Make it duplicatable. And so if you're going to serve anything, make it water. If you're going to do a presentation, use the slideshow. Don't try to reinvent something that's already been done and proven. And then, use the X39. That is still our flagship product, and that's what we should be focusing on. And I just love that. And let's see, I had one more thing that I wanted to talk about. The social media. At one of the conferences, I think it was Rise Up, they said, don't set up a separate LifeWave page. Keep your social media on your personal page. And I kind of struggled with the whole social media stuff because I want to make sure I'm compliant. I want to make sure that, the people that I'm reaching out to don't see me as selling something. And so to be personable. So I was really excited to listen to Sam Hind and her presentation on social media, that we don't have to broadcast, that we keep it personable. And I think about a month or two ago, someone had said, if you're going to be using your social media to talk about your business, to do a ratio. Like maybe you do 5 posts that are personable and things about your family or your dogs, or right now I'm making artisan bread with 4 ingredients, that type of thing. And then you maybe throw in something about LifeWave. And not that you have to throw up on people, but you keep it simple. I love those reels, and I don't know how to do them yet, but where you just see somebody putting the patch on and giving a thumbs up. I think, okay, simple, and it stimulates some curiosity. And if you are one of those people that is relatable and fun and personable and take the time to celebrate other people's birthdays or their personal celebrations, or maybe their sadness, maybe they lost a pet or something, that keeps you all relationshipable. Anyway, that's my takeaway.
Well, and I can tell that you have reached out to your team, Becky, because last Wednesday when we had an overview in Lakeville, Minnesota, I think you had 8 people there, or 6 people. You had a lot of people show up. Becky wasn't there because Becky is in Arizona,
Right.
and normally Becky is in Minnesota, but her team showed up, and it was just good to see. Like Marilyn was there, just to give her a hug again and get
Yeah.
some new members. She got a new person and signed up that night, and that's the power of the team. Becky wasn't there yet. We signed up a new team member for her, and yeah, that's just the beauty of teamwork.
And that is awesome too, because I felt comfortable inviting people and encouraging them to go, even though I wasn't going to be there, because I knew that you guys would take care of them. That's enough said.
And often the glue when we want to just send people to events and we're not there, they're like, I'll just wait till you can go because
Yeah.
it's more comfortable for someone to have be led. So I was just so happy that they showed up and they were comfortable, with
Hmm.
you not being there. So that was really great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lisa, thank you, Becky. Lisa's got lots to share. Lisa shows up all the time.
I love showing up because I am just on fire about all of these new adventures, and LifeWave is just a part of that. Um, so I think it's just like a renewed sense for life and what's possible at our age in this new season that we're in. And for
Yeah.
me, it's just been fantastic to learn new things, meet new people, try new things. Um, yeah, I think like what Karen was saying, like if you don't show up, how can you develop the relationships that you're looking to develop? And this is a relationship business. I mean, that's the entire basis and foundation for it. So how can we show up for others too? It's not just showing up for ourselves, it's showing up um, for anyone on our team who we want to duplicate us and we want to be that example. So I mean, I find it easy and fun, and I'm blessed to be able to show up in person. So not everybody's able to, fly out to Las Vegas, but we had so much fun. We learned so much. But like you said, it's just a completely different experience in person. Some of the things that I think were really pivotal, and I didn't write down who said different things, but clarity is a superpower. So if I know where I'm going, I can take people with me. If I don't know where I'm going, and I kind of just say, well, I'll see where this takes me, that's a problem. So clearly defining our vision and what we're doing is going to encourage other people to feel confident in joining us. So we had talked about moving away from being the ambulance drivers and more towards the business builders. And those were some of our conversations, right, at the in-person Rise Up event. So I think that's another thing is the brainstorming in person is just, it happens in real time. And we do it on Zoom as well, but a lot of times we're just listening on Zoom and kind of taking things in. But when we have the opportunity to brainstorm together, it's really helpful. Something else that I really love, which I can't find, something about desire loses its impact without professional urgency or something like that. And I find, you have to find for you what works for you. So for me, the trips are pivotal. The first trip, I didn't even write down the details. I didn't think that was for me. There's no way I could do that. And then once I won Punta Cana, I had a whole new belief in myself. And I find, wow, that really motivates me. So I grasp onto that. So I'm going to, we build event to event. But if I focus on those incentive trips and am determined that I'm absolutely going to win them, then that works for me to create that sense of urgency. Sometimes it's something you have to make up in your mind, right? So like by this day, I want to have this many, conversations or whatever it may be, and place something of importance to create that sense of urgency. You might have to kind of cultivate that if there's nothing in particular that's, it has to be sincere, obviously, but even if it's like, okay, I'm going to offer a discount from my own commission for a certain number of days, that might create some urgency for you to get some things done, and people respond to that. They don't know whether it's, something that you just made up 10 minutes ago or what. It just sounds like, oh my gosh, this is a great time. I better do it now. So I love that, the professional urgency.
Good. Awesome. Not to mention that we started our Vegas journey with zip lining, and Tori and Lisa and I went zip lining, and I couldn't stop laughing. And just the fact that we did that, we joked so much about our age and going up and doing that, and it was fun. And then just that experience. I mean, there's nothing like that, to be with teammates as you're floating down together down Fremont Avenue. It was pretty fun. When I'm at any event, I always want to be around my team members. I try to get to all my team members at least one-on-one sometime during them. But I also join other groups. I just walk up to another group, another team, somebody else's team, and I just stand there and listen. And especially the meal Rise Up, that we just had these little round tables. We ate, kind of had to eat fast. And so everybody's standing on these high tables. And I would just walk up and say nothing, just listen to their conversation. And eventually it's going to come around like, oh, where you're from and stuff. But I just like hearing what other members are saying. So that's definitely an in-person thing that really, really helps to know people. And this past weekend, I liked that on Vision that they mentioned Steve and Gina. I mean, for him to call out one team, do we realize how amazing that is that he called out one team? He called out our team. And he has mentioned this a couple times that Steve and Gina only focus on X39. And yet we're all these ambulance drivers, all of us. And I continue to be that. I'm trying more to be looking for hardworking people, which Lisa talked about. One thing that I probably should know about, but I don't really care about, is algorithms. I didn't even know how they were done, and because I'm not I mean, I use the computer a lot, but I don't use social media a lot. I have yet to post anything on my personal Facebook page, and I'm not sure I'm going to. But an algorithm is a program that is designed to learn everything about you, gives you what you're interested in, because often people will say, oh, that's showing up on the Team Celebrate page or something else, and then I can't find it. And I think, well, it was just there a minute ago or something. So it's got to be with what we're looking at constantly. And so if you don't want stuff that you don't want to see, then stop clicking. Stop clicking on things. So that was good for me just to learn, because I can waste so much time on social media, on these reels. I love watching those reels. They're all interesting. Oh, there's the next one, and I really want to stop wasting my time doing that, because I realize when I'm clicking on that, that's why I'm getting so many advertisements all the time, in my Facebook feed. So we want to stop doing that. Is anybody comfortable talking about the social media aspect of what was this weekend? Renee, did you get a lot out of that?
Yeah, I took a lot of notes. What I've learned since I started Lifeway 5 months ago, I now literally keep a journal because I'm taking so many notes just for Rise Up alone. That's what you said. What are your nuggets? Like, I have so many things highlighted, just pages. But regarding social media, that was actually one of my favorite parts of the Vision Conference. Sam Hind, which you all know that there's a free 10-day Facebook training coming up too. So you can sign
could you
up.
talk about that when you're done talking about that? You remind us or about that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the algorithm basically, she said, used to your advantage. Put social into social media. It's not about broadcasting. I have this for sale. It's about being social, interacting with people. So grow people to grow dreams. And then she talked about the fears that hold us back, fear of pestering our family and friends, wasting time with no results, fear of failure and comparison, overwhelm with all the strategies and everything. And then she just talked about what doesn't work in Facebook anymore, what still works, and how many, 2 billion daily users with Messenger and everything. Then she talked about the algorithm. And they decide every post that we make who they're going to show it to. So basically, it's about socializing and being relatable. And let me see. What were some key things
sharing versus selling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see what else. Basically, create your recipe. We have a unique target audience. She says it's kind of like there's one formula like a cake, ingredients, method, serve the right dish, adjust, know exactly who you're talking to. So what I thought was interesting, the top performing content that she said, nostalgia. I thought that was interesting. Like, remember this in my era. So nostalgia content, real, relatable, and entertaining, like an unpolished video, just you. Like I was dancing in the antique store with my sister the other day. That was just raw, whatever. Or do something value driven, like cook or do something that people can learn from. Um, and then she talked about compliant versus non-compliant. She gave some good examples. But she said, people won't remember what you said, but they will remember how you make them feel.
Mhm.
So I thought that was good. But I wanted to say back to your point about kind of quick one-liners or what we got. Some that I got out of Rise Up. Let me see if I can find it. I can't remember if this was Devin Robinson or Harvey, one of those guys. But what their like opener, what they talk with people. Hi, what do you know about stem cell technology? No one knows our stem cells are going dormant. And then did you know by the age of 30, half are going dormant? And then this is the part. I just want you to take a look at what we have our hands on. Would you be willing to take a look? And it's okay to say no. I liked that approach. And then the second one I liked was you've got to at least check this out. Will you honor me and just check it out? I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm trying to change your life. I really like that too.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway,
We
not a lot of
talk
to talk
about well, what did I ask you to talk about at the beginning?
so that they can
Oh,
sign up.
yeah.
Yeah. So there was a link and there's a Facebook group and I posted for my team the QR code. You probably have it, Anne. It's in my Telegram, but there's a QR code that you can sign up for it. But it starts, is it February 10th? I think it's February 10th. Yes, February 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern is when it starts. And it says it's 10 days. So I'm assuming it's 10 consecutive days. They didn't really elaborate on that point, but I'm assuming that's what it is. Sam Hind.
You plan to be part of that?
You signed up. Sherry, I think you signed up. Oh, yeah. Free training, why not?
I signed up too.
That's awesome. Renee, will you talk about going to Rise Up in person? Like,
It was great. I mean, I love the bus rides. I intentionally sat by different people because I just wanted to learn and they learned. In fact, it was funny. One of the ladies that I sat by, we're now, Facebook friends. And I don't know, I commented on something and she said, you really changed my experience at that event. And it was from a little bus ride.
Hmm.
So it's really important to go. I had a question. Who is planning to go to Florida in August? Who has signed up? So Denise and Anne.
Yep.
Alyssa, are you going? So you three?
Well, I was signed up, but now they changed the date, so I can't go anymore.
Ah.
I know. I know.
Oh, I
It
know.
starts
Yeah, because that's the Dakota
Dakota
County
County
Fair.
Fair. Yeah.
Shoot.
So I'm bummed.
Signed up, but I want to. I'm waiting for a roommate, Sherry. I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm waiting for some people to go. I don't want to get a room by myself. But anyway, they are really important to go to. They're really important. And one thing, to be honest, that I was confused about initially, till Jaime kind of straightened it out for me, is you got the corporate stuff and you got the This Is It team stuff, right? So you got like competing things. And I'm like, which one to go to? You can't really go to everything. And Jaime said, um, you don't get the teaching at the corporate ones, how to grow your business, the nuts and bolts, the weed in the weeds. And that's really kind of the most important thing. So if you had to pick one or the other, I think it would be the Rise Up. However, I would always go to the annuals. Now that I've been to Dallas, I would always go to the annual conventions too. Because you meet people and you learn stuff. So
Well, you meet larger teams, you're meeting other teams when you're at the corporate one, and you're in a room of 7,000 people, and there's overwhelmingness of like not in a negative way. It's just like, wow, this is so amazing. And it sounds like the next convention is going to be as good as the last one in Dallas. You know, the Anaheim's going to be as good. So David spoke about that. So that
Yeah.
was like, okay, that got me a little intrigued. Like, how can you top that last one? But
Yeah.
he's already got me excited about the next one. Because I was just thinking, oh, 20 years they did so much. But oh, yeah, I definitely want to go to that one. And I think I'll talk a little bit about being at corporate, and maybe Renee, you can add to that. So that was just, of course, overwhelming experience. I know some of you have heard of some of these things, but like they showed a bunch of the stuff from at corporate on Vision. You know, they showed some of the videos, the tour, yeah. And then to say like, oh, I was there. I knew exactly where that was. That was kind of fun. And it sounds like, you know, not everybody gets to go to that. So just, you know, if you get invited, you got to go. I remember I had seen somebody.
Smaller than I thought, just the one floor. It was smaller than in my mind. I imagined it was going to be huge.
Yeah.
But the tech in the Welcome Center was cool. But you saw videos of that and it looks just like that. Um, but the part about David at the end, that personal like look, I mean, Ann and I were the only one on our tour, two of us, and
Yeah.
Geraldo and Garrett, I think. That
Yeah.
was
And
it.
then one other employee who hadn't ever been on it.
Yeah.
We had their attention.
But then the David Schmidt surprise at the end was amazing. I mean, we got a recording of that and it was great because you could just ask him anything and he's so approachable and it was awesome. I love that part.
And then you got these pens that say LifeWave on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the pens.
And a pop socket.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, yes, I was surprised too. I thought it was the entire building because you see this big building and it's only one floor. But Garrett said they're already outgrowing that and they're moving to expand. They thought that would be that. And then the setting, so beautiful. Renee and I loved the setting in the mountains. We who don't have mountains in Minnesota, it was.
Every mountain she's driving going, take a picture. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Well, those were a little bit more beautiful than the other rocky part of the Rockies I know about. Anybody want to talk about the evening formula, the morning formula that we got?
I can't remember which one tasted a little better than the other, but I don't remember which was what. Sherry, you
Morning was
remember,
better. The
right?
morning was better. I'm
Was
excited
it?
about the morning formula. Yes.
Okay. I remember you preferred one, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
So the Renita video that she just did about electrolytes, did you guys, and
Yes.
potassium? I don't know if you all saw that. One of the questions I asked, in fact, today, I don't know if you all got a survey from the Vision Conference. So I just filled out my survey. But because in the survey, one of the questions was about how did we like the chat experience? And my question never got answered. I mean, there was tons of people. And what I really wanted to know was, do we need to take other supplements or other, like, does this replace the need to buy Dr. Berg's or whatever? So and then Renita talked about potassium and how you need 4,700 milligrams. And so I'm literally going, if I eat an avocado and I eat a potato and I take the morning Cellergize, and I'm still short, like, that's a lot of potassium. So anyway, I thought that was interesting about trying to figure that out. How do you reach your potassium?
Yeah, that's going to be 500 milligrams of potassium in the morning formula.
Right.
I saw that.
I think you're supposed to take more than one serving a day, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I take two Dr. Berg's because they have 1,000 milligrams. So I think the answer is yes, we're still going to take some of that kind of a thing. And yeah, that gets.
I was hoping we didn't have to still purchase other stuff,
Yeah. Yep. Linda, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, this is just like another electrolyte thing, correct? It's not vitamins.
I'm not sure we're clear on that.
I'm not either. In fact, I did a screenshot of the back. They just call it supplement. They don't call it electrolyte. Comparing it to another electrolyte.
Yep.
So
Because there's a Dr. Stanley that I've noticed has been commenting on Facebook, and he says that it's not, that you do need to supplement vitamins because this is not a vitamin supplement.
Because it has unique ingredients in it. And when they were talking about those ingredients, that was exciting. And they were so excited, like, oh, we could have this in there, and how unique that was. So I think I'll, wait and see how. Sherry, did you want to add anything about being in Dallas?
Yeah, I'll add to that. I think it was really unique for me, being brand new to LifeWave and brand new to network marketing in particular. Um, just I it was overwhelming a bit just because I don't think I'd never been to anything like that. It was absolutely wonderful. I loved seeing people from all over the world. Loved getting to meet you. Me and Renee roomed together, so that was awesome. Um, and I think the thing that stood out to me, other than just how over the top it was just done with so much perfection. I don't know what the word is. It was just so well done, so professional. But to see David in person and to hear his heart, and especially when he shared about the how he came up with the water machine from Genesis, that was just wow. I mean, I was just in awe of that. And then I signed up, I got my ticket for Anaheim while we were there, not knowing, how I'm going to do whatever. I'm like, I want to be there. I don't want to miss one of these. And then Renee talked me into getting at the last minute the Rise Up virtual ticket. And I'm glad that I went. Or saw it. I wasn't there, but glad that I did that because that was a lot of information and a lot of very energetic, excited people, which then gets you excited. And then also, obviously, I watched Vision the other day, loved all of that. And I have to say, like somebody else already said, Sam Hine was the highlight, I think, of that whole thing, what she shared. Um, and I'll speak just a second on the algorithm thing. I didn't really understand the algorithm, but what I got from her was that, and like I've changed my profile on Facebook and Instagram to public rather when it used to be private, even though I don't have it set up as a business page. And one of the things that I noticed that she said was if you're posting things that are of value to other people, it will drive people that would not normally see your other, let's say, LifeWave content. It'll drive them to your page because you're posting the things about nostalgia or the things like that. So I was really intrigued by that. And then also that she said it's the comments, the back and forth in your comment section is what the algorithm picks up on. So the other day, I posted my first nostalgia post, and I posted a picture of this old pattern from when I was in high school. I went to a Christian school and we had to wear culottes. And so there was like this pattern, and I was like, tell me you went to a Christian school in the 80s without telling me you went to a Christian school in the 80s. And like I had more engagement on that post than I've had on anything like in a month. And then I noticed that Renee posted the book that we're supposed to be talking about tonight. And she, has anybody read this book? And I was like, I know what she's doing. And there was a lot of engagement on her post. So I'm like, yeah, there's something to this. So I'm
Yep.
excited. I'm excited for the 10-day challenge.
Yep.
Awesome.
Have you learned anything?
I did download Audible because of that. I think a listener, somebody said that. I'm like, okay, I gotta listen to it because I'm not a good reader.
Yeah, I definitely listen Audible and I buy the book often
Mhm.
because I listen to it a lot. I've listened to the Power of the Subconscious Mind. The first 2 hours, I think I've listened to it 3 times.
Who
Kind of
talks about it?
I need to listen to when David talked about the science or whatever that the doctors or whoever that you talked about earlier.
I want to do 2 more things before Renita gets on. So now I try to go to everything now. Well, one, because I have a team and I want to meet these people. Like, it was the first time I met Sherry and in Dallas. because I want to meet you guys and I want to spend time. And I try to spend time with every single one of you because that's important to me. But they're also different. To be at Rise Up, which again will be January, and then it's going to be in August. So it's a different name, but that's just Steve and Gina's, and that's like this Rise Up was 400 people. That was so small. And you kind of, if we would have had like a couple more days of that, you would gotten to know a whole bunch of people because it's the same people recycled, you were kind of shoved into this little theater and then you were on the bus in 3 buses, 4 buses, but you always stood with somebody else. Like Renee said, one time I sat next to Renee and I'm like, I'm moving. I want to sit by somebody new. I just naturally sat by her and like, oh no, we need to sit with somebody else. So that's really important. But, corporate's going to be large and you're going to see more like we saw this weekend for Vision, the global thing. And then Rise Up was, smaller, of course. So they're all different. Just like all these calls are so different each night, So again, it's just all about showing up. So actually, I do have your homework assignment here. Here's our schedule for next week. Then Renita will, tonight she'll be talking about the power of the subconscious mind. And then next week, I would really like you just to pick a paragraph or two. Read a few chapters. Of course, try to read the whole thing a couple times. I think Renita said she's read it 10 times or something. But if you can't read it all, read something and grab it and then write down this new way of thinking, how this has changed you. And then on February 4th, we want to share those ideas because there's so many things in this. It's just short little things like I'm going to work on memory. Never had a good memory. Even I couldn't remember 10-page panel pieces when I was in college. And I was like it was something wrong with me, but I can help this. So that's the one thing I'm going to work on that I'm going to focus on between now and February 4th. And then the other thing is, I do want to go into these 4 color personalities, both these books. If you haven't purchased them, buy these. And then I'd like to know, what do we want to do after February 11th? Do we want to keep with these themed topics? What is it that we want? So I'd like to hear from you. Do we want these books are thin, but they're going to be meaty. Do we want to do like 2 colors? Should we spread this out over 2 weeks? Because the whole idea about anything we're doing is that we want to utilize these things. So I wouldn't mind interactive things. So I just need a little bit of feedback. What do we want to do after February 11th? Quickly. Or you can text me or whatever. And then the other thing we can do is continue with topics, but I'd like you guys to lead the topics. I don't always want to lead the Zoom. I don't want to be the only one speaking, but 2, it really gets you honed in on something that you're good at or that you could share. And it makes you be a leader. So throwing that out, maybe next week we can have a little more discussion on that.